Hi guys,
and welcome back to another episode of Style City Diaries.
Brought to you by your favourite and fabulous cousins, Prinny Ray
And Amber Light.
Yes!
Oh,
Today we are joined by a guest.
I wish everyone, well, I don't know whether they could see it, but you literally like form in unison. He's like, you go.
you know, everyone
says that.
That was so sick to watch. I was like,
No,
what's
it's
going
given
on?
like assembly performance and scene.
Yeah.
Well, we got
perfect.
Alize.
Well, straight in.
Welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me.
It's been like
A long
10
time
years,
coming.
by the way.
Yeah, well, thank you
But we
for
made
bearing
it.
with.
Yes. And she brought us a bottle of Moet.
you.
We didn't
So-
get to do the pop.
No,
Yeah, we were
I was
too
too
eager.
fast. But we're let's
Should we
have
do a
an
little cheers?
Woo!
Far
Cheers,
away.
cheers.
Okay, where to start? I think we're all going to allow you to introduce yourself.
Yes, for
I
anyone that
hate
might
doing
not
that.
know.
Okay. Well, my name's Alize Demange. I'm a fashion stylist. I'm based in London. I'm 31. I work primarily like with talent. I do a bit of influencer now, and yeah.
Living a life.
You know what I love? I
Why
love
does that
when
make
we
me blush.
No.
Wow.
when we ask people to introduce themselves, they always go with like the modest route, like
Yeah.
you know, I'm just this. No, she has styled some amazing people. Recent work includes Flo,
Yeah.
Yinka Bikini, Cleo Soul for her performance at Royal Albert Hall. Can we clap in
The
sounds?
accolades. Hello.
Thanks.
You know, we need to start. I don't know. Maybe we need to do like a
hype man.
a hype management like course. Like you have to big yourself up. I sit and I'm like, I'm a fucking DJ. Where have you played?
It's nowhere.
Don't matter. If I said I'm a big time DJ, I'm a big time
No,
DJ.
but it'll be that one person that turns around and is like, so.
Yeah,
You'll be like,
no one cares about the soap because what are they doing?
No, it's true.
Do you know?
Do you
what I
feel
mean?
like
I
it's
hear
like a
that.
British culture thing? So I feel like naturally British people were just a bit like more reserved.
I do
and...
think that because it's like when I go American and stuff and like people like make it their job to tell you what they've done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To name drop to the high heavens.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's my style really.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like I don't really when I'm around other people that I've done like I know people who've done so much more.
Right.
I feel like I'm not. I like what I've done, but I don't think I'm like up there or anything. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm just cruising.
It's so interesting
life.
how people see themselves.
Yeah, and how
compared to how
you-
people view you. Because like in our eyes, it'd be like you're up there, like you're
Yeah.
there already. But then
Yeah.
obviously everyone has their own
Different,
kind of journey.
yeah.
Everyone has their
mind.
ceiling as well of what they think
Right.
is like the next thing for them. And I guess also being in England or like the UK or London, it's very small. And like the industry is very
It's
small.
so
Yeah.
small.
And you know everyone that does everything. You're gonna see them all the time. So it kind of just like reduces that I don't know, like your perception of what that is to this
Yeah.
to this. Do you know what I mean? But don't get me wrong, I love my life, innit? I love what I've done. But I feel like maybe there's a little bit more I could do. But I think within styling, I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm up there personally.
Interesting. Who would you, just so we can get some names, who are you kind
I'm
of
not
look,
doing that.
no, look up to, maybe outside of London,
Who would be
internationally?
like the people that have like
Oh, yeah, like,
influenced-
Yeah.
like a
that
Law
have
Roach.
influenced you.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean?
fine,
Like,
yeah.
But then, obviously, perspective-wise, like, that's the US, that's global, it's international
Yeah.
star. But then, like, there are some stylists that I see that do, like, you know, actresses for
Right.
every week, and you're working with Valentino and Gucci, and it's just, you know, Armani is making your dresses, and da-da-da-da. Like, that, I feel like, is a completely different
Level,
name.
yeah.
And, like, I feel like I've done more, like, the growth aspect of this scene rather than, like, that other side of it. But I just want to be clear that that's not a complaint.
Observation.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that is not hateration. That is more like, I think that's why I don't know, maybe I'm looking at more accolades in a different way.
I think there's
Like-
different sides to a job. And
Yeah.
I think this is a really good like segue into like the different parts of styling because people might not understand that there's like styling for so many different things.
It's so,
And
I'm going to
Yeah.
take off my second earrings
Oh,
because
okay,
I can
for-
hear them. Sorry guys. I can hear
It's
them.
alright.
Yeah, yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
And
Yeah,
I,
that's better.
and I guess like, because I just see it as like one thing.
Yeah.
No,
but
it's
it's
not.
not. It's very.
We saw that. Was it
different.
you that sent me that TikTok of the girl that said she styles like there's a difference in some people might style like the main talent, and then you have people that actually just focused on cast. And she was like, I'm really happy in my space. Like I love what I do. I don't actually want to do.
I'm going into commercial, and I am absolutely loving it. Frankly,
Can you
I'm doing like
Can you,
campaign
give us a bit of like knowledge.
Might
Like,
not know.
I just did like the Body Shop Christmas campaign, so it will come out. I'm sure I'm allowed to say that because I will sign off on the job. Like, that's a weird thought. Like,
Is that under embargo?
no, because Christmas is coming and it will
Yeah,
come out,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
see that. And like, I had a wicked time doing that, and it's very different to working with talent. You are obviously working with a client, and it's very much like has a bit of a strategy, a thought process. You work with a wider team, and maybe because I haven't done it so much, I'm not over that. But so for me, it's a little bit more exciting. In some ways, people could say it's a bit more boring because it is to a degree conventional. It's advertising.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like red tape with certain things, this that, and the third. But for me, I'm like, money's better, treatment's better. I know when it's gonna end. People ain't gonna call me at like some random time asking for something mad. Like, and everyone's just very corporate and
Yeah.
like
Right.
knows their
It is
job.
really corporate.
Yeah.
no. But
It's
I
like,
haven't
who's
had
your
that.
brief?
I
Because
haven't
you've
really
always
had that.
been.
So like for me, it's like this is nice. It's a bit like everyone. No one can talk to me mad. No one can like, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. You
No,
look
no, no.
concerned.
No, I got my thinking face on.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
You know your pay's coming on time.
Yeah.
No, that
Or
part.
you can flip out if it doesn't. Like basically, do you know what I mean? There's HR.
Random question.
No,
But have you
there
ever
is.
like not been paid or been shorted in your freelance career?
Yeah, I wouldn't say not been paid. I feel like there's something I definitely like didn't chase up after a while because I was just like, I'm so finished with this.
Oh my
I've been bullied out of pay.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Like, yeah, that's a good one that she talk about.
That's
It was
good.
either like,
let's get
I
into
had
it. Ready for
Yeah.
the date.
like it's like what you would consider bullying because it was like either basically I don't know how many stylists have come on here.
One.
So yeah, I don't know how much have you spoken about like I don't know. Sorry, I'm like this is an educational platform. So basically, like
Yeah, no,
obviously,
Yeah, no.
Educational.
Everyone
Yeah.
loves the educational
Either-
points.
Yeah.
like most of the time, like depending on the client, sometimes like you spend. So like
Yeah.
sometimes you receive a float budget,
And then you
or-
like expense it.
yeah,
back
and
to
Yeah.
expense
them.
it back. And it was either basically they hadn't clocked how much they had been racking up, and they were like, unless you take some of your feet out, I'm not paying the expense bill. And I was worried because the expense bill was large, and I was like, this is on my credit card. So it was like, okay, I will take this out even though I've done the work because I was like, I need to clear that.
What's the
And-
feet? Sorry.
A what? A fee?
You'll take it
Oh,
out of her
take the
actual
feet out,
fee.
like, oh,
No,
the fee.
my feet.
Yeah.
I was like,
No.
what feet? Take it out of my wiki feet. My OnlyFans page to my feet.
Oh, they said take the fee out.
Yeah, take like some of my feet out because they didn't feel like it was justified even though I'd done the work. It is disheartening when that is the case because I actually felt like a little girl,
Yeah.
Mm.
like having to protect your self, and it feels a bit like you're being belittled.
Yeah.
And it's like I had to, you know, when you got to pick your battle, it's like, okay, cool. You know what? You want to move like that? Cool.
I think it's a shame when the battle is like to do with like getting paid, and like if that means maybe like being short on your rent or like
Yeah.
getting food and this and that. I think for a lot of people they don't realize, especially in
No.
the creative industry, like when you're freelancing and they're like, oh, we'll pay you. It's like it's not that I'm money hungry, but there's things that
I've
But
got
also
to pay
in
for,
in
yeah.
the
Money
back to back
for.
of this, like a lot of the people that are paying you are also in that same position.
yeah.
So it's like it's kind of becomes a bit of like a circle. It's like
Right.
if, for example, even me with my assistants and I got to pay them, if my job has been late paid, they're late paid because
yeah.
I try and upfront it as much as I can, but from a cash flow
Yeah.
from a cash flow perspective, if that person has, and we're trickling down in a payment sense, until that money's come in, then the second person can't get paid,
Yeah.
and that happens a lot because we're all kind of getting
Hustling
bumped.
and bustling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
It's the 30
We're
day
all on-
invoice thing. I need
No,
that to
30,
be
30, you're
peaks.
lucky.
You're lucky, 90 day, 60 day, and then still late. There was one job I done, didn't pay me for a year.
But how is that
whole year.
okay?
It's not. It's not.
That is
But what are you gonna
wild.
do? You're gonna take them to county claims court with no money for a lawyer.
Yeah, I saw someone that they had an invoice outstanding from Vice, and obviously Vice have gone bankrupt.
Yeah.
Also,
So they're
can someone
like-
explain that to me? Because I don't understand how that could have possibly happened.
They probably weren't getting enough ads, like people.
Well, the last couple of things I was watching from them, I was like, this is paid. This is ads. Like, I watched like a Japan documentary. I was like, this is paid.
Someone's defo like
And then,
expensing
like-
things and like just using.
And it seemed like to
money
be such
for
a quite
something.
dominating media that like how the hell.
Maybe they're just spending more than they're making.
Or it could just be a complete tax evasion.
Situation, but someone will buy it and save them. I don't think this is the
and
end
then not
of
pay
Vice.
any of the invoices.
I thought it was I genuinely thought it was a Murdoch-owned enterprise at one point.
Oh, is it?
Who's Murdoch?
Rupert
Rupert
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
Oh,
I thought like it was a part of a conglomerate. Like I didn't think it was independent. Anymore.
Independent.
interesting.
Right, we all got to get on our Googler after this.
Okay,
Yeah,
don't quote me.
Get
Don't
to
quote
the
me.
bottom.
Yeah.
This is all alleged.
Yeah, it's just alleged. Sometimes I just take in info and it just goes in my brain.
No, that is like this one over here.
I am
fake news queen.
of fake news, and then the week after I have to come and be like, "Sorry guys,
That
it's all
was-
a
You know what she
lie."
did? She H&M Mugler campaign
Yeah.
collaboration came out the same day our episode drops, right? She's like, yeah, if you're listening and you're in the UK, you know, the collection comes out at 11 a.m. Mate, it was sold out at 9.
I saw somewhere it said 11.
Yeah, and I'm a literal babe, so I will believe it. I'll be
Yeah,
like, 11.
exactly.
Like, yeah, let me set my alarm.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Like, I would never have said it if I didn't see it somewhere. And I had to apologise to all the little kiddie girls and kiddie boys.
Yeah, we love a
about
fake
it.
news
But
apology.
Yeah, fake news. Like, oh, wait a minute.
oh god. All right, I want to take it back to like the beginning of your journey.
We had a question from one of the kiddie girls
Yeah.
about
Okay.
starting, like
Yeah.
the start of
Starting.
your journey.
And the motivations as well.
Is that a question?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
like,
Just, I must add in spice to the question.
The motivations behind me starting as a stylist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always creative. Like I always was drawing and doing all that stuff when I was little. I'd make little illustrations and be like, I want to work in fashion, da da da. And I wanted to be an artist. And then once I started getting to more like secondary school, I was like, actually, maybe I kind of want to work in fashion. And then like them times I had to kind of think of early on, like before A levels, it's like either I'm going to channel to go to art school, which meant like a lot of my work had to be kind of like directed towards that. So I kind of knew that I was going to be creative. Like there was no other option for me or anything. And then when I went to university, I thought I just wanted to be a fashion designer. Because I think that's the only job I kind of knew. Like that kind of
At the
sounded
time,
obvious.
yeah.
And at the time, like obviously there wasn't socials or credits. Like I'm from a smaller world. Like I didn't have intro to that kind of creative thing. I just thought, fashion designer, you know what I mean? You make clothes and you make money. Da, 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 da. And then
But that's literally what it was like.
yeah, that's what it's like. That's what you think it's gonna be like. And then I went to university for it, and I just hated it, and I dropped out.
Where did you go?
I
London
went to
College of
Kingston
Fashion?
University,
okay.
so I did like my art foundation there, and then I stayed on to do fashion BA, and I just didn't click with it at all. But before on the art foundation, I had a pathway for styling, and I was like, I really like this. Like you get to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, more like people based, and like creating more like the imagery rather than like the actual item. Because I feel like I'm not a hands-on person. Like I just can't retain that information. As soon as it started to get like, oh, you need to be on the sewing machine making it, I was just like, yeah, my brain just started to go, no.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
I'll
It's like
draw it
nothing.
all.
Yeah, I'll
but
draw
no.
it all. I can say what it looks like, the colours, what it should feel like.
Now you make it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like none of it was going in my head at all. And I'd sit there in the one little tutorial we're allowed to have, and I'd be like, yeah, not for me. So I was like, I really wanted to do styling, and I just kind of like, there was a little like people from Raven that I knew that was kind of like styling at the time, or like trying or going within that route, and I just was exploring who's who and what can I do, who can I work with personally, and that was literally it.
I really want to know how styling is taught, because I'm always like,
Yeah.
how do people just know? Like, obviously, I feel like one part of it is people just know, like
You
it
just
just
have it
comes
in
from
you.
within,
Yeah.
like you just have it. But like, how is it taught? Is it like, are you taught like certain patterns will always go together, certain
no.
like What is the vibe?
I think anything to do with like the art creative part of it is not taught. That's innate. That's your raw talent, art. Anything that's taught is more like the function of the business, how it works, relationships, money, invoicing, how you loan, return, process, budget. Like all of those, the framework of the business and how it operates is what you learn from like an assistant point of view. And working within it, obviously creating relationships, etc. But all of the creative part, that's you.
So you got it or you don't.
That's you.
Like,
Will
they
that's
be like,
not...
you're not really this good.
No,
at
but then it
styling.
becomes subjective because I cannot really say to you like what I think bangs or doesn't bang. I can't tell you
based on
like
your style. Yeah,
that's just how you see it and how it works for your clients and or like.
But I mean, don't you believe though that there is like an objective that is terrible?
No, because it's like it's the same thing as like eating food. Like someone's gonna like something and someone else is not gonna like it. Do you know what I mean?
I've never thought of it like that.
No, but and the same with music.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm gonna say that this band's shit, but they have a loyal fan base of like 130,000.
True.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
just
can
subjective.
I can dress.
But I think everyone has a baseline of taste.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I can appreciate a look that I would never ever wear, never ever pick. But I feel like there's something that makes it all make sense to me. And that's why I think actually you should have more of an objective eye, not just what you particularly would take in yourself. And I think that is what styling is. Like it's not how you dress, it's about how you would create it for whatever the medium of it is and where it is. The context of it all needs to make sense for it to be like
Interesting. So you know,
I'm
when
on
people
fire
like,
today.
I'm like,
whoa,
it's all
coming out.
because I'm like, oh my god, I always have to put myself into like the scenario, and I'm just like, wow.
Also,
like,
a lot of people don't understand what it takes behind the scenes, you know.
No,
And they don't put
because there's
respect
a lot of
on the name of
egos.
stylist as well.
Do you ever like come across clients who like you can see a vision for them that is very different to what they're usually like?
Yeah, but then you're battling with the
Personals.
person because they're not. That person is never just a model hanger.
Yeah.
Like when you do editorial, it's a model. They have no opinion whatsoever. You say put this on, they put it on. You direct the whole thing. It's like all orchestrated the way you want it, and that person is framed. I mean, like, literally. And their job is to do that. It's just literally everyone puts their little bit in it and done. When you're working with a human being, obviously a model's a human being, by the way. That is not. Like, but their job is
talent,
the functionality of their job is much different. They're there to like the clothes, to wear the clothes and accentuate that however they may be. Whereas with talent, there's a lot. It's very different. It's person's personality, perception, target audience, whatever they have in their head, insecurities, this, that, and the third, partnership, strategy, etc., etc. It's very layered, and sometimes I feel like when people have an opinion on people's looks, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah,
bro.
sorry about that. That's me. But we also
like empathetic.
We
Sometimes
always
I look
do
and I'm like,
caveat
you don't know what could have happened an hour before that moment.
No, we say that often though. We're like, maybe something went wrong because sometimes you see a look and you're like,
or sometimes
there's something
that's what the person wanted.
That as well.
That
we
is
say
Like
that as
that's
well.
what the person wanted, and
Yeah.
you're there like. But then also, I really respect it's really hard because sometimes I think, even as a stylist, I don't know whether I've always got this right. Like, how much of a how you say that? I don't know the word for it. It's like when you're imposing, like how strict,
Are you influencing that?
Like how strict you have to be, like how kind of forceful, because some people won't let you do that.
Yeah, like put your foot down. And be
No,
like, no.
some people will just be like, and you're just like, okay, do you know what? Whatever, man. Whatever you want.
Because I'm getting paid either way. So
or like, you know what? I'm not here to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I'm
also,
here to
I don't know.
support
Some
you
people
how-
work. Also, some people are very. Some clients are very more like they trust you in everything. They want you. They know the vision. They're going for it, or they're very involved in fashion, or like they like things, and that's the beautifulest collaboration because basically everything you get, they're like, yeah, and you're like, yeah, everyone's like, woo, gassed. Do you know what I mean? But some people just are scared of it, and that's where, you know what I mean, they want to hide as well. Like you'll see people that you can see they want to hide. They're not comfortable. Like the clothes sometimes wear them, or they want to. They always say adjectives when describing what they want. It's like shroud me. You know what I mean? It's not shroud me, but everything you can pick apart what people want. But also, in an evolving relationship, hopefully, I think the aim with styling as well is like to try and get out of that and try and support someone out of what they would naturally be comfortable with and like push to that next part. So it kind of becomes like psychological.
Yeah, I guess it also helps if you have like a longer term relationship with a client and you build
like
that relationship. Versus like it's just an odd job, because sometimes I see when we do like reviews and stuff, and we might have like a recurring celebrity or recurring person, and you realise they're always working with a different stylist, and then it's like a bit
on your podcast.
Yeah,
before,
it just feels a bit
really
disjointed.
Interject,
yes, please, because
no, not interject in a negative way.
No.
I do think that's true. Like, I think there's a lot to say about someone that has like a team that supports strategy and the overall look that they're trying to achieve. Obviously, we can all go off piste, innit? And we can all have like a rogue moment. And I think that's the sick thing about fashion. Like, let's change it. Like, let's wear something that you would never normally wear. Do you know what I mean? Like, treat it a little bit like a costume. But I think that's personal to me. Some people just wear the same. Yeah. And then you recognise them for that. Like, I don't want to bring up Karl Lagerfeld, but obviously he had like a look. Or like Anna Wintour, which... No, it was someone reviewing her shoes to me. How she wears apparently like she wears the same shoe.
Oh, I've never noticed.
No, it's like the same shoe. It's the same Manolo Blahnik, I think.
Oh,
interesting. She said, "I like what I like."
I mean, she's really like straight laced. And...
she's trying to kick out our old Eddie.
Yeah, I want to know. Listen, I think he's done, babe. It's like when you join a job and you say, I'm fighting for what now?
Yeah.
I'm fighting for what?
Yeah.
You're pushing me back too much. I could be making way more money outside of this place, please. Thank you. I've got my accolade now. I'm done.
But apparently that's the tea. Like, it was even in an article as well.
Yeah, I heard this little Stephen Bartlett thing. I was like, trust me, everyone's been there. In as a creative, everyone's gone somewhere and they've employed you and they think you think you're going to be able to do whatever you want, or like you think you're going to be able to push the boat and you rock the boat, and then every time you're getting a bit tired now.
Yeah.
Like, you rock the boat more and it's like people just fighting you and just like, why are you fighting me?
It's literally
why are you fighting me? Do you want your business to go into flames? Because that's the next step, guys. No, but honestly, like, there's so many companies and brands now, it's like they're on their way out. They're walking the thin thread.
But it's like the people up there, they like they don't see.
I think they're stuck
they
in the
can't see,
heydays.
like,
they're stuck in the... I think people also always really scared to push the boat in case that one rock is the last rock. You know what I mean? Or something mad happens.
But this is why you have like the death of print. Like, there are no magazines anymore.
I don't think that's
they
the
were all
reason
doing
for
the same
print.
things, and then obviously digital. But
yeah.
Fine, digital.
I mean,
no, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if like Vogue people was like, it gets boring.
So even digital Vogue is still like boring.
Yeah.
Low-key, a lot of publications are boring.
They are, but like, no, I don't. Well, I don't know because I don't. But like, I feel like there used to be an excitement
but I think the
every
only
month
realistic...
of like getting that magazine.
I think it's just because the way... Yeah, I want to go back to what I said, why publications are boring. I think just the way that we consume content is completely different now.
Yeah.
We're so used to being entertained, like...
Quickly. Right now, yeah.
It's like our been and gone moment, do you know what I mean? I love a cover though. Like, I love seeing like an interesting
I like the
cover.
covers and the interview. I really enjoy reading like the cover interviews as well. Sometimes they're very long.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're very long. I skim it and I'm like, that's a piece of information.
Way too much reading for me.
That is lovely.
Any perfume in there?
I didn't even know they do those anymore. I used to love that.
Yeah.
When I was little, I loved that.
Yeah.
Going through.
Tearing. I would tear all my like happy like things I liked.
And do little like mood boards.
I put on my
stuff.
wall. I love like putting things on my wall.
I used to be a poster girl, but I'm not a creative, so I'm sure your wall looked much more creative and had...
I think it just looked chaotic.
Yeah.
So like 10.
I just want to go back for you to finish your point before we jumped when you were talking about there's a lot to say about having a team versus
it's very
just
hard
using...
to get a team. Also, that's another thing. Costs money. Like, I think also that's another... Oh, sorry. That's another thing that people don't realise. Like, it costs... It's a lot of money, bro. Like, it's not...
Because when you have a team, is that like salary? Like, you have to pay them every month?
Well, no. Because then if you're working with freelancers, you're paying them per thing.
Right.
And, like, sometimes I can always imagine, like, for talent, it's not worth it every time. Or you might be getting a certain price for this thing you're doing. So you got to allocate it to a certain person that can fit in that, or vice versa. Is it on this level? Is it on this level? Is it on this level? Trying to work out what makes sense financially. So I think that contributes a lot to like team building, and yeah, because he lives on that, isn't it? Like,
it's hard.
No,
I feel like I have
true.
an apology to make.
Yeah.
To like the UK babes, when they go to like babes and guys. When they go to what's that thing? GRM Gala.
I mean,
like,
but
what
we
the
have
fuck
said
was he
though,
wearing?
of course they can't afford.
Yeah, but we have
stylists
always
at
said
that
like
level.
sometimes it's like the affordability, but now I just kind of feel like a little bit extra
because
bad.
I got
for,
cussed
like,
one time on Twitter, and they were like, "Oh, why can't you just use a graduate?" And there's loads of people who want to work for free. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, what?
Yo, yeah. So this was like, you know, after, yeah, no, it was so weird. It was honestly so weird. So you know, after Got Gala,
Yeah,
and everyone was very much in uproar on Twitter, yeah. And then I made like a thread about the fact that like people don't realize how much what people just pulling out stylists out their bum.
Yeah.
Like they can afford it because it's
It's
like,
expensive.
and I was saying, I was like, I know my own rates, you know, like
you're right, yeah.
I'm sure that there's definitely people who work for lower rates, but then also in terms of like what they can pull, their experience, X, Y, Z, like the average entertainer, which there's many entertainers now in our community, is not spending like
that much
$2,000 on their outfit for Gala.
Yeah, especially if it's just.
It's just and it's
No,
like you're
but
not getting anything back from it.
Yeah, it's like we can't compare it to the Met, like
yeah.
And where also with the Met, it's like those designers are paying. You got to pay mad money to sit on that table, to have the table.
It's like 30k for a ticket or something.
Yeah, like do you know what I mean? Come on, make it make
It's
sense.
a different level.
Yeah, it's so different.
Everyone did amazingly well at that place.
Yeah.
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 No, yeah.
No, cool.
Man.
Yeah.
No shade.
No shade to
No,
that.
absolutely no shade. I was there. I got called mother of the groom.
At the Guap Gala.
Yeah,
Guap-
someone
Guap.
was doing like the
the
reviews,
pictures.
and they were like mother of the groom. I was like, hold on,
Crying.
please,
Oh,
I'm
God.
just staff.
Who won that category? You were nominated.
I was
right?
nominated, yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Blaze.
Oh,
Well
okay.
deserved, in my opinion.
Nice.
Are
I'm
you?
still stuck on Mother
What
of
is
the
the?
Groom.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that is really funny.
I was stuck on it for 2 days.
In my head, though,
huh?
that's a really good one. That's something we could have come up with, not for you,
Oh,
but just
but
like,
no, I was like,
just like as a general
Not
comment.
even Mother of the Bride. Like,
why the
Mother of
groom?
the groom.
How do you
actually
take
can't.
like criticism?
Well, because I don't really get any. I was like really flawed. I was like, what? I was ugly? I spent a long time on that. Also, I'm just not really like, I'm not extra person. Like,
Yeah.
I'm extra person within remit, like within my areas, like my birthday. That's it.
Right,
like,
okay.
I would never, that wouldn't ever be me. It's just not my vibe. So then when I got that, I was like, I'm okay being that. But that was rude. I'm young. Yeah, I'm young. In my prime.
That is so funny. To be fair,
Not even just bride.
like,
Bride would have been fine.
why the groom? Why the groom?
Why mother?
Yeah. People on Twitter
Not even
get
like
so
sister
creative.
of. They have
Maid
no
of honour.
chill.
No
I'm
chill.
so scared to like be invited to somewhere.
Oh God, I'm not going.
And then I'm not going because I sit on this podcast every week and I chat shit about everyone. And then the one time I go, I
No,
just
but then
know.
I think you gotta like,
Then we have to get a bloody science
No,
put on
yeah,
the two
then.
keys together to be like,
you gotta
look,
like charge it to the game, man.
Yeah.
Like I think that's also, we haven't really had a scene where people have been able to review things that are like a part of our community and things
Yeah.
like culturally that we're actually observing what people are dressing and like having all these amazing events to go to and da. So I think you just got to go rock with it, and I
And I
had to
think
accept
it's
I'm gonna get
needed
my
as
2
well.
comments.
Yeah,
Do you know what
I
I mean?
like I feel like you probably just took that on the chin. I feel like
No, I didn't.
we
babe.
no okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say as
Like
Brits,
whoever you are,
we
yeah.
are.
Just know.
Look at me.
I screenshot that. I will see you at somewhere along the line, somewhere.
I was gonna say like people like us are needed, but maybe not. I was gonna say because obviously like people like in America and stuff and like globally, like I feel like they get. Like they had like the fashion police and this and that and everything, and we don't really have anything like that here because I feel like we're very sensitive.
Baby state, but we're sensitive because I will see you.
No,
That's the thing.
No matter what, it is like.
No, I think where were we? We were somewhere. And I turned around and I saw someone who I think I'd spoken about.
Oh, it was at Julie's party.
And I looked away. And I don't think I looked back and smiled.
Yeah, and then I smiled. And I was like, oh my God, it's that person. And Prinny was like, yeah. And then I was like, fuck,
yeah.
Oh,
but you can't. Also, like, it's a part of your...
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, and it's never personal.
No, but that's, I think, you have to think of it that way as well. It's like, this ain't on my character. Like, this is like, about something that's... Also, again, subjective. It's just a personal opinion. Like, I liked what I was wearing. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I proper liked it. I felt with my makeup, my hair was nice, and I felt really good. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Like, I don't give a shit about my man on the internet, what they said. And again, like, this is not my job.
Yeah.
To be out.
How
you
do
do it well, though.
That's what I was gonna say. You do now have that part of your job where you are the face with your content creation and like your, your influencing bag in inverted commas. How did you transition into that, and like how are you balancing the two, like being behind the scenes and in front of the scenes?
It was an accident. It wasn't like planned. That wasn't like something I like really deep. It like happened, and like it was happening like a little bit, and I was like, oh, every now and again I was getting a little check for this, and I was like, oh, this is nice extra money for not really doing that much. Now it's a lot. Good. Now it's like actually I got to work and stuff, and like it is hard doing the both because what you would think takes like 20 minutes doesn't, and there's lots of feedback and change and making sure that it works for the client, and then also knowing that it's like I have a 9 to 5. So like I have a 9 to 5 doing styling a lot of the week, and then like sometimes I get these random jobs that come and it's like, oh, I've got to break free from this to do this and like plan my day a bit more. And with styling, it's so like people need stuff, or they say they're done, and then you go to the fit and it's like a whole nother load of work that has to be done. And you might have scheduled, for me, it's like I might have scheduled a shoot day for the next day. It's like, that's wrapped now. So I have to figure out a way to like, to implement that. It's champagne problems though, I'm sorry. Like, it's not even, it's just, it is hard doing both. But I like doing both because I feel like right now influencing for me is like a nice, it's like an enjoyable new thing that I get to do. That's like, just for me. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit less serving than with styling. It's very client based. It's very like for the other person, and you're really pleasing other people. Whereas like with influencing, it's like actually like it's kind of like a hobby for me. Yeah. So that's the nice part of it, and it is really nice. And it's nice that my career's been able to afford me this other lane of a career that is actually kind of sick. Like I get to do things I was at Victoria Beckham's party yesterday, bro. Like seeing Posh Spice.
Must be nice.
Yeah,
is it fun?
Seeing David Beckham grab her ass a couple
times.
times.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was so weird.
Because it's like mum and dad. It's like, don't you like running? Like, I want to see that.
Have you been at City House before? Or like, have you been to a short, like I saw a house and it's got the pool?
Yeah.
So imagine they're at the top and they're like right in the middle, but there's no one. Everyone's just sitting around on the deck chairs, and he's doing that. It's like we're just all like. I was just like, and again. And I was like, oh,
this is so weird.
But you know, because he's showing, he's like, me and my wife were very much together.
Yeah,
no.
It was giving that. I was like,
remember when there used to be so many scandals?
So
many
scandals. I remember when I was younger.
Yeah.
It was relentless.
Always in the papers.
Relentless.
Oh my gosh. We saw his son.
Was it Romeo?
All their children were there.
Yeah, we were DJing for Thomas Sabo. We're like,
well done, guys.
Thank you.
Trying
to think.
Brand deals, we like it.
We love it. And we were just like at this salon.
Umche.
And we just see this car pull up.
What was it? I think it was like a Maserati.
Or something. This little guy just like hops out and everyone's like, and we're like
everyone's like cranking their neck. No, I wanted to go as well. And then
and he just like put his head up, and we're like, oh my god. I don't know why. I always find it so weird. I just in my head, I know someone's gonna hate me because I mentioned the Kardashians again, the Kardashians.
Oh, sorry, right.
But but like, cause you know they
cardamom?
the Kardashians, and because like they can't do anything normal. So then in my head, I'm like, every single celebrity can't just go out and like do their day to day thing. So then seeing him, I'm like, you're just walking around in Fitzrovia, like say it's nothing.
I don't envy that part. Like,
No,
especially
nor
when
do
I've worked
I.
with people that like I've seen them go from before after, and like it's not vibes. Like it's really not nice. And you always got to think about like who you're around, like what you can post, what you can't do. Like
Imagine
you can't even go out like
tube.
even like something as stupid as like smoking a cigarette or something. Like you can't really be caught doing that at like, certain places. Or imagine, I don't know. It's just long. Do you know what I mean? It's like full on oboe like every day.
No, you can't even be like, I just want to go for a dinner and sit outside and do al fresco.
Yeah, that's so true.
You can, but certain places only.
Gosh.
So it's like you could only be like, your life has to be uptown only.
But even that sometimes
That's such a
boring.
It does, but then your life changes,
Yeah,
like
and
who's
the
around you
people
changes.
that-
But it's like I think it's the sad part of like you can't even jump Tesco's or something. Even like on a low key one, you can't like really.
Oh, I don't know what I would be able to do. What we're gonna do?
Wait, you're gonna do your sunglasses?
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
How am I gonna survive the lifestyle?
No, not gonna lie.
Who am I?
When we had our mums here, one of our videos went viral, and I was like, "Mum, babe,
Can't go
you
out.
can't fucking go Tesco now. Got to put
They're
your
all
glasses
talking about
on."
me.
Literally,
about me.
I was like, "They've seen your face." I took her out for like afternoon tea or whatever, and there was like loads of like little kids, and I was like, "I bet they've seen you on their TikTok." She's like, "Really?" It's like, yeah.
So it's like
Yeah,
I would
love
have
it.
things like that. Like I'd have like one YouTube video or something. And I'm like,
I'm like,
I can't even go to my local.
No,
Tesco.
literally. But I'm like,
Because they
so
know,
main
don't they? They
character.
fucking know.
They do. I'm like, everyone in this gaff knows me.
No, we do that
They've
all the
seen
time.
me.
These times there's probably something on my head or something.
Yeah,
I'm walking really weird because I feel like people are looking at me, but they're not.
literally.
They don't care.
What star sign are you?
Cancer.
Oh, it makes
Ooh.
sense.
To be fair, one of my
Because I
best
feel
friends
like
is
we
a
were all
Cancer.
very vibing, and I just
Oh,
felt.
is that like the?
Consensus.
Well, I
What is
personally
everyone?
get
I'm a
on with
Libra.
Cancers
Libra.
and
Libra's
Libras.
nice and balanced, isn't it?
I'm a Scorpio.
I feel like Scorpio, yeah.
Yeah, Scorpio and Cancer. You guys.
Yeah.
The crab.
Can I
and
put
the-
the aircon on now?
Yeah,
I'm starting to get upper lip sweat. So I'm like, please.
To be fair, my cheeks, I've got a natural
you're
blush
getting
on
red.
right now.
Getting
I
red.
feel like I've got rosacea, low key.
No, it's sometimes when I drink wine I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
The
little
veins are
drink.
getting all.
Yeah, if I drank too much, there was a time I was drinking Magnum Bear and like I would just always get red.
The Magnum
That one.
Magnums. Oh,
There
God,
was a
right now,
time-
I've been
Yeah.
ages.
The bit-
We-
that
you
one.
were drinking
There
the
was a time I was going for a lot. I would pre-drink like 2.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
I'll be
that's
hungover
you.
for like 2 days.
That's that literally pre-drink 2, you're ready.
No, I would be hungover for 2 days
Yeah.
after. I was
my
like,
life
my
now.
body is vibrating. What is wrong with me?
No, literally. Remember that
I
time
stopped drinking that.
at Rep? I had 3 in
Yeah,
like
I'm
a very
smashed.
short
That's
space
really
of time,
scary.
and then we went to Camden. We was like, let's go for another drink. Like the night's not
Oh, God,
over.
yeah,
We went to
we were
there's
eating
this
pizza,
one
like,
pub
the
that's
corner.
always like open till
Oh,
late
which
in
one,
Camden.
Camden?
Yeah, in the corner. It's like Drunk
one-
Elephant or something. It's
The
like
one
right
that's
on
like
the
really
corner.
wild. Like,
Yeah,
always
it
ruckus,
is.
like-
Yeah, like
It's like you
Rockstar,
never know what's
Rockstar.
gonna happen
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And there's always like crackheads outside.
Always.
Yeah.
Or
and then-
inside.
It's that
Or
one,
inside.
it's that one,
And there's
yeah,
a pizza shop right opposite, and they do these like huge slices of pizzas.
That sounds nice.
Alcoholics, I love it. I feel
Wild
like we've really
times.
calmed down.
Yeah, we really
I
have.
think
Like
everyone. I
alcoholism.
think growing up here, like
It's just part of.
it's just a part of like
Mm.
every day.
Yeah.
And after a while, you're like, oh, have a job.
No,
No, but I also feel like that's just like you go through a phase that I'm just going to be really mature now. And it lasts for like 6 months and then you're back on it.
But I'm like that, and then you'll give me 2 drinks, and I'm like, where is it gone? I can be anywhere. Where is the motive?
See, I'm like,
Like-
that. One little sip, and I'm like,
No.
the event that I
Like,
was
my
too
boyfriend
tired
has so many
for.
regrets with me. It's like, don't call it on, babe. Because I will
love
take
a
you
good
there.
after-party.
So where do you party in London? Like, what's your vibe? What's your scene? If
Yeah,
you do?
that's done for me now. I house rave only, sorry.
Okay.
Well,
Mainly
so,
'cause I just like
sorry.
Anonymous raving.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wait, basically, I used to like throw parties. I was very much a part of the party scene.
Oh,
I've been going raving
cool.
for a really long time, and like I think it was a big part of like my meeting so many people and so many people that I know now who are.
Was that alongside styling? You were throwing
like
parties?
so. I always used to work doors and stuff, and that was like my part-time, what supplemented my life, frankly. And then like I used to throw parties when I was younger. I was very much part of the East London and West London things, and like I met many people I work with through that. And then after a moment, like I think probably post-COVID or during COVID, it obviously ended. And as I was getting a bit older as well, it's like I didn't always like going to a party and like knowing everyone and like seeing everyone is like. And then after COVID, I think the anxiety of that started to really like set in,
big time.
And it wasn't enjoyable for me anymore. It's like, and obviously going to industry parties, like you have to put your game face on. Like I don't want to do that in my downtime.
Yeah,
like I don't want to have to always be watching what I'm doing, what I'm saying. Obviously within reason. Like I'm not moving mad. But do you know what I mean? Like there's something about that. Like it's like you always have to be on. And with freelancing, you do always have to be on. But like when I actually want to go out, I don't want to be that person.
You just want to be able to like let loose, be you,
like,
and just like not worry
within
who's there.
reason.
Within reason. You like please?
Yeah, within
please.
reason. And like I think I had my time in that. Like, yeah.
So you're just in your chill girl era.
Yeah, I'm in my. Well, I mean, I spent 2 weeks in Ibiza. I'm definitely not in my chill girl era.
Is it different? I think it just changes.
Yeah,
it changes.
Yeah, like I don't want to see it in my exes in a rave. I just don't.
Yeah. Okay, I mean that would do it.
That would do it. See,
Luckily, we never bump
into.
I wish I would.
Just happens the first time you're like, I can happily air this. The second time you're like, this is just jarring now. Like, I'm not on this. Like.
When you said like you feel like being
it's
a freelancer,
a small place. It's a small,
London.
Incestuous place.
Yeah.
And when you're in it for a long time, like obviously naturally you start to date. Like, do you know what I mean? And I think that's definitely one of my regrets. But yeah.
No, I was going to go back to what you said when you said like being a freelancer, you feel like you always have to be on.
Yeah.
Is that because you feel like not everything is like an opportunity, but it's like networking, putting yourself forward, like you're a business card.
How much you kind of like, you basically are trained into that, like whether it's, and I don't see that as like a ungenuine or like opportunity. Well, I guess you got to be opportunist to work for yourself.
Yeah.
But like, there's always that idea. Also, in the age of 2023, I think like socials and this, that, and the third. Do you know sometimes I'm somewhere and I'm like, what if someone filmed me and put me on Shea Bar or something? Like I'm anyone because no one gives a shit about me. But you could be that person. You know, like how back in the day, like this is going to sound so scatty, but like you'd maybe pee between two cars because you really needed to go to the toilet. I still do that. But
back in the day, I'm
like, that's right now. I was just pissing outside one of these strands the other day.
I mean, like sometimes we have to pee, okay?
Yeah.
And we are not men.
We can't stand.
We can't just whip it out. Imagine something always goes through my head, like imagine if someone just filmed you and put you out there, because people do that, which I think is tapped.
Yeah.
But people film stuff and like,
and then someone's like, right, is that Alizé?
Right. Yeah. It's just, I think it's just a new age paranoia like, that maybe would never ever happen, but it happens to the most random person and no one even ever knows.
I need that paranoia in my life. I might actually start being like
I
a
say
normal
that,
person.
but like, I definitely still.
Because I
live
do
my life, but then it's just always in the back of my mind.
I'm lips and man in Prince of, obviously I'm no one, but like my point is like I'll be lips and man in Prince of Peckham, I'll be pissing here doing that. I'm like,
it's that song. Do you know what I mean? It was me doing balloons on San Ann border, and I was like, whoa. I was like, and then it
was like, Ron, Alizé still doing balloons, you know?
Like. No one cares about me. It's
but
just a low-key paranoia.
No, but it could just be a random person being like, oh, look at this girl, not even knowing who you are. And then that's how it becomes a thing.
And then as you get older, I think you're more, like, when you're younger, you're fearless, innit? You don't care about nothing. Like, you're just living your life. Also, all of this stuff, for me, is like, there was just photos on Facebook, innit? There wasn't any of that.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, which was a lovely time.
It was a time. It was a
upload
time.
everything.
Yeah,
and tell everyone to
like,
tag
no
us.
edit,
Everyone's so
nothing.
looking forward to the tags.
Yeah.
Times. But now it's like, it's on.
Yeah.
But I think going back to what you said, like, you are always on because you are aware that there's technically, possibly, maybe an opportunity and everything, and you never know who you're going to see again, and just this, that, and the third. Obviously, things happen, innit? Like, oh my God, yeah, something weird happened. Like, I went to my uncle's birthday party, and a woman came up to me and was like, yeah, I met you a few years ago. You looked me up and down on the toilet and you was being bare rude, and I was like, I don't even remember that. And she named what the party was, and I was just there as like I was just being myself. Like I was not. It was not. It was a party, innit?
Yeah.
I was just. I have a natural resting bitch face, so I was just probably maybe just staring into space, frankly. And it's so weird how someone can perceive something completely differently to what you ever intended. It's never in my intentions to ever look at someone. I would never look at someone and like give them some evils. Like, I'm not in year 8. Like, do you know what I mean? There's no one on this planet that would be like, yeah. You know what I mean? I was just like, what? But it was so interesting to hear that. Like, you never really... That's so off topic. But yeah, it's like, you never know how someone's going to perceive you in that moment or how you're going to act with them. And like, you know, I see them 5 years later and they're still talking about it. Like, yes.
Because people do carry like I guess it's that whole like first impressions thing. Like, because you don't even know who the person in front of you is or like how much weight they might carry or whatever. Or like,
but also you can't also live life like
that either. You have to just kind of be.
That's the other thing that I think isn't that genuine as well. It's like I can't just be like fake with everyone just in case I might see them in the next situation. Yeah. Work together. Actually, maybe just me just being a nice person. And that should just be what carries it. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
Being a nice person gets you a long way.
Yeah, exactly.
That part
right there. So another one of the questions that was asked was, what's been your biggest challenge as a stylist?
I think a few. I think definitely one is like me understanding how to communicate, because I don't think I'm like always the best communicator, and like sometimes I feel like I've said something but I haven't. It's just I've said it in my head. Or like,
as in,
so is that like not verbal communication, but more like, or like emails, just like
messaging, or all I've done? No, because I'm mostly on top of what I'm on top of. So, like, you know, I've got it this far, but just I think, you know, there's some people that you see in like in a corporate space and they just got it. Like they know how to talk to everyone. They know how to like even do the emails, you know, lol. But you know, like there's a type of email jargon that's a certain courtesy or a certain type of lettering that I'm not a master of, because I've never been in that space. You know what I mean? So like, there's certain things that I feel like would work better if I was more of that person. That more like, I'll happily have a coffee with you at 8 a.m. and like be there and schmooze you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not that done. Like, I'm just not. So that's something that I think has held me back. And other things that are challenging, I think running your own business is really challenging in so many different ways. Like, as we spoke before, just probably like freelancing and just all the up and downness of that. And I think probably making it a consistent job. Like, that period of time where it's like you've decided to do this and then before it becomes like a full-time thing is very challenging. I think that's probably like a lot of the people that want to be stylists are in that limbo moment. It's like, yo, is this even gonna happen, or is this even gonna pay for my life, like, etc., because it is quite a long, as with many creative things, I think it's a long schlep before you actually get that reward.
Have you ever thought, like, got to a point and thought, you know what, I can't do this anymore?
Bare times I was like, I'm gonna quit doing it. Like, it's not really popping for me.
If you didn't go into styling, do you, or like,
yo, this was the reason, because I was like, I don't know.
You don't know what else. Yeah, there's
I was like,
gotta work.
Like, I have no other, like, obviously I've got a degree, but I'm like, what is that really?
Yeah.
Like, I've got a fashion marketing degree. I don't even know how to do like SEO. So like, frankly, it's like. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm unhireable. Like, like, where was I going? Do you know what I mean? Like, that was the scary part, is like, where the hell? Like, I couldn't even, this is another thing, I think, because I'm shortly going to be diagnosed with ADHD. Like, I very lacked in the...
Same!
Yeah, kindred spirit. We really gravitate to each other. It's like, I really lack in all of those aspects, like writing a CV, like, being able to like do a job application, like halfway through a job application I will just like completely just don't, it was so overwhelming task for me. And like, even just the idea of an interview and stuff like that, like, which is probably the reason why I have been freelance this long, it's probably because I just feel like I can't be like that. Like, I don't
imagine
really
actually trying to work with work colleagues. It's another
even that, like, I don't need to work with people. Like, I am
hard.
like a lone ranger. Do you know what I mean? Like, I work with my assistants. I dip out in and out of jobs weekly. So it's like my dopamine is hit. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just off the thing. Off the,
in
in out. Woo, yeah. Blah blah blah. Like I don't know what it would. Like I tried to apply for a job, and then my brother just quickly like killed that and was like, "You are just not gonna make that."
We like honesty.
No, and then I was like, he broke it down to me, and I was like, "Yeah, for real." Like he was like, "What, 40 grand a month, 40 grand a year?" And you're gonna have to be on emails like X amount of time. They're always gonna be on you. It's 38 hours. Like you are not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna be able to do freelancing at the same time? No.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay.
Trust. It's hard.
It
like
is, yeah.
we both have 9 to 5s. We pod, we radio, and we DJ.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's hard now for me, even wanting to do things that are outside of my.
But I feel like you've got a
items.
very what's the word I'm looking for? Demanding job. Like styling is like people can just call you and be like, I need this by tomorrow, and it's like, whoa, okay, I need to drop everything and go in.
It does.
Like, it can be really.
I have to be.
demand.
That's one thing that's also challenging. Sometimes like having a life. Because
setting boundaries.
Like I've cried before. Like someone's called me and been like, I was meant to fucking have a date with my boyfriend or something. I was like, sorry, we got to go Selfridges now.
But
sorry,
Dito. Are you able to like kind of have a work-life balance or set
I think
boundaries?
Also,
and
I'm not gonna like. I've got to the position now. There's always when the job is on and it's within the time period of the job. I understand what is required of the job and what is needed. Yeah. Outside of that, I'm still able to do the shit that I want to do. I kind of get up when I want. I go and do whatever I want. I can go on any holiday that I want. I drive wherever. Like I don't have like. I understand that I still have a lot of free perimeters. Like, so I'm not that disheartened by it. There was just a time period of my life where I was working like 6 days out of the week, and I was just tired. Yeah. And like everything was revolving, and when everything revolves around work, that's when you're tired. But now I feel like I'm just in a more privileged position, especially with the influencing, because I think that's allowed me to be less on with styling all the time, right? Which allows me to have a little bit more work-life balance, because I've been able to supplement my income with something else. Like I don't have to do all of this other stuff that I don't really care about.
No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
To like make sure that I'm hitting my targets, like I can do this other thing that's like essentially half the time for the same amount of money.
It's just you found that balance now. I feel like what it is as well, like you've worked all these years, you've worked so hard, you made a name for yourself, you've got great credentials, and it's like, well, now I can actually take some time to myself, do something that's enjoyable for me, and live my life, because that's what you work so hard for. I don't think you should feel guilty for saying it's not that.
I don't feel guilty. I just think I feel guilty because I don't want ever to like my small complaints to sound like I don't like my life. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Even to myself, like everyone has issues in their job, bruv. Like, and obviously I'm so fortunate to even just like my job. Like I like it.
That part.
And I can and I can navigate it how I want to, and like even that, like I'm really pleased with this year. Like I really set a tone of what I wanted to do this year, and it's really going in that direction. So it's like I have a lot of control over what I'm doing, and I'm just very grateful for that. Yeah. But yeah, there's some things that piss me off, innit?
That's so normal.
That's how it goes.
And I always feel like as well, I feel like some people who might feel like, or they are in a place of privilege, feel like bad for being like having complaints. And I just feel like everyone has complaints within, like, and it's okay to feel like, today this job is fucking pissing me off.
No.
Yeah.
And like
you don't have to be happy.
And in the context of what sometimes in the context, if you explain it to someone in the context of what's expected of you and what a normal person would go through at work, or like any person of what they expected, it's like sometimes it's like, this is just really rude. like whether it was someone else or in a different position, it's like you're actually just doing the most because you think you can do it. Yeah. And like there isn't rules.
Because you guys don't have
There's
HR.
no
There's no HR. You are HR.
Yeah.
So they're being with you.
Yeah. It's the fear of not being able to get the next job. For example,
Yeah.
if you revolted, if I did a coup in this one, like what would happen to the next one? Do I want to stay in this role? Do I want to build with this? It's all strategic. And that's, I think, the tiring part of being freelance, because it's like, that's why you're always on. You're not thinking, right, if I just steadily do this job, I'm still going to get my check on Friday the 30th. Hustle. It's like me, it's like projection of what is next. So yeah.
How was it finding your assistants? Because I know that like loads of people always ask you like, how can I be your assistant? Where can I apply this and that and everything? what is that process like? Just in case someone else listening might want to be be going in that direction.
She's like, we're not hiring.
Yeah, we're not hiring right now, but this is what the process is like.
I think, in pure ADHD/ODHD fashion, I don't really like change. I like change within what I like it in.
Yeah.
With the company, I like that the 3 people know what they're doing.
Right.
Are where they are, and I trust them, and they're not going to do nothing mad. That is the hard thing about basically bringing new people into a company. And I think everyone, if you ever like run a business or even work in a company, understand when a new person joins the team, changes the dynamic, the focus, what's needed, what's not needed, etc., etc. Also, like, I think upon experience, I've had a difficulty with trust. It's like you're working in my space, like, that I pay for, have access to all my cards, things like money, breakdowns, clients, emails. It's very it's proper. I don't know how to say that. Like,
it's confidential.
It's confidential. So it's like, upon, like, I would tell everyone to start assisting, but it's like I couldn't have just someone. I think that's what I feel bad about, is like people who just want to shadow for a short period of time. I wouldn't feel comfortable you coming into the space for like a short period of time, because I don't know, man. Horror stories upon other horror stories. The only thing I will say is that, like, there are so many other stylists that do that do change, like, have assistants fleetingly, or like change regularly, or use them ad hoc per job, or people in and out often. I've liked my team because it's just worked for what we're doing in terms of like having a lot of back-to-back work and repetitive clients. Yeah. And a lot of them haven't left yet. They've actually just stayed. Like,
you must be doing something right.
That's the thing, when one of them has gone, then they will have to be replaced.
Yeah.
But currently they're still
let's say, like, what were you looking for when you was in that, like, hiring process? Was it like, okay, here's a trial period, now style this, or like how does it work?
Because you work from the bottom up, depending on your, like, level of experience, but assuming that you've come in with maybe minimal experience or some experience, you'd still have to start from the bottom in terms of, like, understanding the dynamics of how we work in terms of, like, using the office, what comes in, what comes out.
Do you like the admin role?
Dumb stuff.
Yeah, like the admin
also,
roles.
like, with assisting, a lot of the time when you first start, it's a lot of collections and returns. So you literally go and collect stuff and return it. Like, and if you're, look, that's one big thing, numero uno. If you can't do that properly, it's curtains.
Oh God.
Yeah, and that's your, like, first entry point. If you find that hard, then you can't do this job.
Yeah.
Because please believe I was doing that for years by myself. So, like, that is just that's literally your testing ground for working for anyone. You got to do them in the time frame, all of them. Don't lose, like, anything. Don't take no Ubers and expect it's going to be invoiced, because you're going to have to really get the train with that big suitcase around London. Obviously,
when I see them, I'm like, yo, you know,
like,
they're even picking something
that was
up
always
and dropping
me going,
it off.
like, raising shoulders for my big fucking suitcase at the end of the day, being like, sorry, I can work with me. I love that. But, like, I think people get it twisted. Like, that's a lot of your job. Like, at the beginning, it's a lot of that, and, like, understanding, even, like, dumb, like, when you return something, if you're smaller PRs, like, they'll recognize you if you always come to the return, because you'll probably need to chat to them at a later date to, like, take your own things when you're calling in, or vice versa. Then you move up to probably doing the call-ins yourself, but that's only if you're trusted to do it. So, like, trusted in the sense that, like, you're not going to steal anything, take anything, move mad on the emails, make sure they're going to reply on time, and actually understand how the fragments of it all work. That's another thing. If you've not got email decorum, etiquette, or, like, understand, like,
that kind of corporacy,
or just vibes in general, then that's going to be a difficult thing for you to get through. This sounds like a negative list, but I feel like I'm just
I think it's good advice, though.
What would be like, it's a long process for you to get to that first position, because also assistants come in a bit of a hierarchy. So it's like, first would be like your head one, probably one that would lead if I'm not available. So, like, if, for example, I can't attend the shoot, the first would attend it with my surveillance. Maybe I pre-prepped it, and she goes there and, like, does it, and they are trusted to perform on my behalf. And then, like, second, who would be, like, near to that, and then third, who would probably be more like more like on a
Junior,
more base level. But it's also my responsibility to be able to train them up to that point and get them up there. So it's like it is quite a really educational process. Like I want to like you because I want to be able to give that to you in order for you to learn and grow. Like I don't want it to be completely transactional. Like I don't even check for you at another time. Do you know what I mean? Like I have really good relationships with all my assistants, like on a personal basis, and I always try to chat to them and like know what they're doing, what they're on, and like also check them when they're not really, when they should maybe be doing this. Maybe they're not even for this. Like sometimes you gotta say like, do you even want to do? Maybe you want to do something else. Maybe we can connect you to do that. Not on like but not on a bad mind thing.
No. It's just, I'm laughing because I just feel triggered because I just had this conversation.
No, because like one of them did come to me one time and was like, I don't think I want to do this. Yeah, I'm like, well, think about it because like maybe it's not for you because obviously after doing it for a couple of years, maybe you're just like, I don't know whether this is for me, but it's okay because we can still pivot you to something else. Maybe you want to do costume. Maybe you want to do this. Like, but yeah, for me, it's more. It's very close knit, and sometimes I'm just afraid of like bringing in someone.
Yeah.
That's so fair enough. It's your business and you can't afford to just like be willy-nilly with it.
Yeah. But I'm a bad person because sometimes I'm be like, yeah, come in, and I think about it and I'm like,
then it's stress,
Because the thought of it, you're like, oh my God, yeah, great. And then you sit down and you think, you're like, oh,
I'm scared. Like, am I just going to make you sit in a corner and do nothing because I'm just scared that you're going to like, it's anxiety. I just have bad anxiety.
Have you had like a bad experience personally where someone's like stolen an item or?
Not stolen an item, but yeah.
Or like, does client stealing happen?
Yeah, that happens. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I clock it sometimes because the industry's very small, so you kind of see certain things.
There's another thing like
they might.
I want to broad as well. Like client stealing, there's a very big difference between like client stealing and like also you growing as a stylist because it's a very small scene and there's going to be people that want to do other things. Like there's lots of my peers like where we've done vice versa each other's clients because they've gone to you or they've gone to me.
Yeah.
Is it bad blood? No, because that's the nature of the game.
Do you guys chat like
like sometimes a lot of the people that I'm more like close with, like if they've done, they might call me and give me a heads up. I might call them as well because sometimes I've been asked to do something. I'm like, but I know that they do it. So what happened here? Right. So like I might ask or because I think if you know them, like sometimes it's courtesy or sometimes you understand the parameters of what's happened. Yeah. Depends what your relationships are really. But in terms of also like coming up with someone, sometimes I've seen it where it's like been plain out and out like there was something just snaky just happened there. Yeah. But in other times, obviously, you grow with someone and maybe also the clients picked you. Like,
yeah, I was just going to say, they might have
there's always context to that situation. You can't... It's very nuanced, man. I think it's very hard because everyone's got to have their moment to shine and be that job. You don't train just to be an assistant forever. Like, I get that. Yeah. But it's obviously hard when there's, like, people's, like, loyalties and et cetera and, like, you know, lots of different things.
How... Go on.
No, I just wanted to ask in terms of like how have you built your relationship with brands in terms of like pulling looks? I can imagine in the beginning you may be sending emails, not getting anything back, but then you've built a name. Do you think it's more the name and like the client, like who you're styling?
Personally, I do think there is weight with name, even as an. Sorry, I hope that didn't.
No, it'll be okay. It'll be right.
There is weight with name on both sides. So, like, even if you've got a heavyweight stylist that's obviously got, like, heavyweight relationships for a long period of time, there's going to be more that you can do because that's, like, if my friend was the designer, I can pull on them a lot more. Yeah. Then, like, if that's my bestie or, like, I'm out with them all the time, obviously I can bend their ear way more than me having to talk through the PR and the marketing manager to get to here. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's natural. I think there's always, like... that kind of insight and I think that's also telling for you to also kind of make relationships with designers when they're in their infancy.
Come up stage.
Because before they have PRs and people like that kind of barricade that or just more of a more direct entry point, they're more likely to work with you in the up and coming because they need that publicity just as much as you need clothes. Wait, what was the question?
No, building relationships.
I do think weight and the opportunity, whatever that event is, also don't forget there's like a million events. So it's like either there's priority for X versus X. Like, am I going to send out for Cannes or am I going to send out for NTAs? Like,
Right.
which one is going to be more worth it to the brand. I also think there was a big shift after COVID, like in terms of what's a priority for press, what isn't a priority for press. Also, there are so many more celebrities now.
Yeah,
that's so
like,
true.
Because
there's like
influencers
are
are
the new
celebrities.
celebs now.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put some lip gloss on. Maybe I should do a shameless plug to
Oh my god, yeah, we love
Victoria
a shameless plug.
Posh Gloss, Brilliance à lèvres, Posh,
Gosh, we love.
Bush.
Sorry.
Also, sometimes I'm so literal. Sometimes I'm like, I read their really polite response, and I'm like, oh, maybe next time. But really, they just mean no.
Yeah.
It's like they've copied and pasted that from the
like,
draft.
We're just really stretched at the moment. It's like, oh, you're a stretch. You just mean no.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie. As a PR, that means no.
Yeah, it does, isn't it? But I always
always
hold
like-
some kind of hope.
No, but do you know what? I will
'Cause there's
say this
yeah.
as well. Like usually there isn't like I'll be like, oh, like there's no opportunities at the moment, but if it does arise, we'll let you know. And to be fair, I'll always actually go and check the person's like social, and I will bank like my own personal bank of like people that have emailed, and like maybe a year and a half later, I'll go back and be like, hey, the opportunity's there. It's taken some time, but like, and then at that point, they're
Also,
like, I don't want
sometimes
you.
I'm like, do they even look like it, unless the person is someone that they genuinely recognize that name?
Yeah.
Do they even look at the link? Do they even look for that person?
That's so true because they probably
And,
get
like,
so many
so
emails.
many.
So many emails. It's like unless if you see Georgia Smith, you're gonna go, I know that.
Yeah.
That random pippa over there knows who that is.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
whereas like someone else, it's more of a risk. Or just, I don't know, within their target. And also people do have really small sample sets.
Yeah.
I will gather that. Like, if you've got a sample set of, like, 40 items and you're getting call-ins every week, I can really genuinely imagine that you do not have always availability for items. However, I don't know what happens behind the PR scene.
But I feel like I'm not in fashion. I'm in beauty, so it's like much more different. It's so much more lenient in beauty. You're like,
because
take
obviously
the
you've got a sample
like it's fine.
and it's like, they're not coming back.
No, yeah.
This is pure
gone.
gift.
Literally.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is where it's important, like who you have on the PR team, like how
Plugged in.
cultured or plugged in, like do they know, like this is why it's so important to have that diversity of people, like who's going to know
100%.
that name that's like
100%
on the
the
come
name,
up and be like, no, actually
Also,
that's one to
are they
watch
gonna
for.
just realistically look out for, because there are so many people that are literally are it. Like they're it. They're they are your target audience or your cusp person, do you know what I mean? They're going to be the person that's actually going to get your tangible sales. Not, I don't know how to. Not X.
Yeah.
Who probably is not going to get you any of those sales.
That's why
But it's probably going to give you that weird kudos that doesn't really translate to that. So
To
which
sales,
one?
yeah.
Also, I don't know what people are on. But from what I'm hearing also from like a medium luxury brand perspective, like a lot of people are suffering in terms of like what they make out of sales, and a lot of what appears as good PR kudos doesn't actually translate to sales. So like, I don't know what people are on.
I mean,
They're
they're still stuck on like the whole big influencer 1.3 million followers when they're posting so many things on their stories, like bare dots, and it's like thank you. As a, what do you call it? I'm a consumer, like watching the story. I'm like, oh, that's really cute. But I'm not going to be like, oh, I really want that. I mean, there's only a select few of influencers. Like you have like the Mel's Wardrobes of the world that we can see. She sells out shit. If she says
also,
get
like,
it.
How we take in that content is so it's literally for that. Like I think she really sells what she buys, like because she's genuinely buying that, and
she doesn't just post everything.
And if obviously even when it is an ad, we don't really believe it. Because, and I'm sure she does believe it as well, because she doesn't seem to like work with anything that doesn't seem outside of her branding. Shout out to Mel. So I think that's probably, I would say, like a perfect influencer, because she is what she is on the tin. Like it doesn't feel like a game, or it doesn't feel like a hard sell. Like she is who she is.
100%.
And everyone's bought into
changing
her
a lot.
Oh yeah, it is
so much. Like it's
so
such
many,
a
though.
small amount of time. Like what, a 10-year span of this? Like it's going somewhere completely different. Like before it was all about your pictures, now it's like not about your pictures.
What are your predictions on influencer
I think
trends?
now it would definitely be more about personality, authenticity. I feel like this is buzzwords. No, but I think you will need to believe it. We're getting sold stuff all the time. Like it's like you really do need to be chained into that and to really think this actually is for me. Do you know what I mean? In order for you to part with your money for it.
Yeah.
What else would I say? I don't know. I feel like obviously TikTok in it. But
I think because of TikTok, people want that more like person. Because on TikTok, you can just be who you are.
Yeah.
Say like the maddest shit, and it's like, oh my god, that's so relatable.
Yeah.
And now all the Instagram
and it's very
girlies are
short
like,
form.
I need to be like that relatable person. Like me doing this in the middle of Oxford Street isn't gonna actually get me anywhere.
No.
I need to actually talk to my people then and be like, hey, what's up? Like today.
That's why a lot of
this, or
people
today I'm
aren't
that.
going to be able to
Maintain
join
it.
into the next phase because they don't have that.
Yeah.
Or
They got the
I don't know, or
aesthetic,
maybe they do,
Yeah.
but
not
they've
the
been
vibes.
worried about it and they haven't channeled it because like you haven't needed to do it all this time. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know what my predictions are because I feel like it's all very like.
It's quick.
Who even knew that this was going to be the world? Like honestly, it's gone.
So quick.
It's just like that. I'm like, what the hell is this?
It's wild.
All right, before we wrap up, do you want to look at the questions that you...
Oh yeah, let's see. Wait,
see if
did you
anyone asked.
get two?
I think we've
no,
asked...
no,
No, we've been weaving them in.
We weave them in throughout the conversation, so it wasn't like a Q&A, but like
that is.
like
Conversation.
a conversation.
I feel like that was a well-rounded combo. I'm quite tired now. I'm all out of juice. Right. Someone said, oh, there's a few. What would you wear if you were going to Glasgow next week? I need help. Actually, fun fact, I'm actually doing a content piece on that.
Woo!
With Topshop. So
Ooh.
I will ask if I can release it before
Glasgow.
just for you guys.
Good.
Will you even know that? When is this being aired? I don't know.
2 days.
Thursday.
Okay, so yeah, there's still time. I'm going to week
yeah.
after.
Yeah, you got time.
Perfect. Thank you. Next. Recommendations for a date night dress, please. This is too broad for me to recommend.
Because where's the date?
Yeah.
Where's
Is
the
it like
date? What's the
daytime,
budget?
nighttime?
Who's the guy? Who are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what's your vibe?
Let's create a scenario.
I'm
Yeah, go
feeling
on
it's
then.
like a dinner or
Let's-
uptown drinks.
Did
at
it say
least.
first date or just a date?
No, I just said a date night.
A date.
And it said, please, exclamation mark.
All right. Let's say it's a first date
Yeah.
and it's a dinner, but it's not like uptown. It's like
What is midtown?
like medium, like sticks and sushi.
You'll be wearing a dress.
No, I'm not saying a
You
dress.
might wear a nice summer dress like that, though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like, we're all wearing dresses right now.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it's 30 degrees.
I couldn't wait to get my dress.
Yeah, literally, I have to find something airy, cotton, sweatproof. These are all things you should think about.
Yeah, God, sweatproof.
But yeah, first date dressing is really difficult. But we had Shakayla
Forbes
Bell. She's a fashion psychologist. Wow. And she was like, I've got my date night outfit and I just repeat the same outfit for each date. Like, and I was like,
What do you mean for each day?
for like every first date, she just
Oh,
has
so you
Because it's a
the
new
same
guy.
one.
because
Yeah.
it's a new guy.
But she
And I
has
was
like a couple.
ADHD could never.
She has a couple depending
that
on like.
would never be washed on time for that day. Like that would never. I would lose it before the next day. Do you know what I mean? Where is the outfit?
I was like, oh my
my
god.
mind was blown because I was like, I always panic.
Panic,
And I'm
like,
like, who do
what
I
am I
want to
gonna
be?
wear?
What am I? It's like
I think
same
sometimes
thing.
you kind of want to be dependent on who
on
you're
the
going on a
person
date
as
with.
well.
Like,
Yeah.
It also who you might have changed 6 months to the next day.
That's true.
Yeah, when was
Do you
our
know what I
last
mean? Your
date?
wardrobe might
It was
have
a long
upgraded.
time
A long time ago.
Fuck.
Yikes, last year.
Oh no, mine was really recent. Oh mate, I was very casual to that date.
Yeah, well, what was the date?
Oh god.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no, bless it. He took
Oh
me
wait,
to
has
VR.
my camera been on this whole time?
Yeah. It's just,
You just can't see it.
we're just flicked on there
Oh.
instead.
Yeah.
He took me to VR, like virtual reality, like during the day, and then we had like an early dinner. So I just did
Oh, that's
like
quite a nice.
I just did like
day.
what are those crop jeans, a leotard and trainers, and like just like very cute, very cash.
Yeah, that sounds normal to me.
Yeah. I didn't put much effort into it, so I was just
I'm
knew
clean.
that.
No, it's giving.
Well. I feel like what I'm gauging from
It's
this is that
giving.
he did not care second date.
No, bless him. Oh, I feel bad.
Why?
Because he was lovely. He just worked for me.
Yeah, but then don't feel bad, does it?
yeah.
Well, it would be worse if you led him on for like
Yeah,
5
no,
days.
I
and
can't
actually
do
don't
that.
like you.
I can't
get
do
like-
that. Yeah.
No.
It's not my vibe. Right, next question.
Oh, Yinka bikini ass. How do you make sure Yinka looks so snazzy every time? Wow.
How do you? Because she does look snazzy
she
every
does.
time. Wow.
You know what? We just have a great working relationship, if I'm honest. Like, I always really enjoy working with Yinka, so it's always a pleasure. Like, I'm going to see her tomorrow at 2:00. Can't wait.
She seems fun though.
Yeah, she
like
does.
someone that like lets you take maybe
she does,
creative
yeah,
control.
She does, and like she never. What's really nice is she's confident. So like, which obviously is a blessing, but she never takes it too seriously, which kind of lets me like also implement what I'd like into it, and we just have a nice bounce off each other. I think it's nice also because we're the same kind of age. Like, we are literally the same age, so I think there's just a little bit of like a wavelength there in terms of, and I understand what she wants to be, and I've locked into that. Yeah. So I feel like we've just got a great little synergy going on. So
What's that?
There's your answer, Yinka.
perfection. Fave job you've ever worked on? I had a fun one recently, actually. But I don't know about ever. But I've had some really fun jobs this year. Oh, I worked on something with an artist that's coming out in August, and I really can't wait to see it because she's really cool.
New artist?
Yeah, new artist. Her name's Ayana. Watch this space.
Oh, I think you posted something on your TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks really cool.
Yeah, and she's really cool. She's dope. Writes, sings, performs, choreo. Beautiful.
amazing.
Beautiful
Yeah.
girl.
Does it all.
Amazing voice. How the F do I learn to dress my new body, shaped to match my personal style? This is actually a hard one because I've had this problem ongoing, frankly, because I've been like every size. So like, as you morph from another size to another size, you like, sometimes you feel like you can't wear what you wore before, or it kind of like just ever changes. But I think, firstly, learn to get comfortable in your new body, because when you're still having like that restriction of being really unconfident or like untrusting or like just feeling like insecure, it's hard to like make that transition because I think everything's gonna feel scary. So I think, in the least corny way, like, try and love yourself in the way that you are, and know that is very, very beautiful, and everything that you do is just going to accentuate and enhance who you are. You know what I mean? And basically, don't be afraid to try like maybe something that you would have never tried before, because you got a new body. So like, you know, we can try like something completely different. And also sometimes like, don't be afraid to be a bit extra sexy, because I think that's the bit that's like, I think scarier sometimes.
Yeah. It's really scary to be like,
Feel yourself, man. Feel yourself.
sexy. But I feel like sexy has such different definitions.
Oh,
as
it has
well.
so many
That's
Also
the
depending
thing.
on like your body type.
And your
as
body
well,
type
yeah.
too. Yeah, like I battle with that a lot because I yo-yo
Everyone's
a lot,
sexy,
and
man.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, when I was like slimmer, I would be able to wear this. Now I'm trying to do it again. I'm like, it
It's
don't
not-
look the same, and I'm
it's
like,
not going over my bum.
well,
it's not like,
it's just
no,
like now I
yeah.
have nothing to wear. Like, what do I do with myself?
But lean into it, and also like, I think one thing from my weight loss, weight gain, don't hold on to old clothes. Just get rid of them.
But I might
get
fit
rid of
into
them.
that one pants one more time.
This is what's holding you back. It is what is holding you back, because you're always like mourning the old body, and it's like you're shrining like things like, as if like one day I'm gonna
One
fit into this
day.
again. Nah, baby, moving on.
I've still got my prom dress that one day.
Oh, please.
I
No,
love
you'll
it.
never- but why
because
would
that
you
was
wear that
No,
again?
it is a sexy dress. That's like to like a cocktail. It's like a proper babe. It's from
It's not
Aqua
you
Aqua.
anymore.
Who's
Yeah,
gonna
but
wear
I
that
might
God,
say
remember
that
that
to
dress?
my
AQ by AQ.
Yeah, everyone's prom dress is from there.
No. But mine was really nice.
No,
has,
'cause
like,
it was more like-
mine was like a triangle cutout, and it was like kind of like it's a perfect cocktail dress.
But it's
It
not
is
for
really
you.
nice.
For like a
It's done.
housewife in the 90s.
Put that on Vinted.
I might save it for my daughter.
Sorry, I just have a random question. Like, how
Yeah.
big is your wardrobe?
My
Like, how do? Because I can imagine
flatmate's
you have a
literally
lot
gonna
of
be looking
stuff.
at me like,
Yeah.
How do you?
how do you
basically,
fit it in?
I have to admit something. Yeah. So many people have tried to come and film like and be like, oh, let's look for your wardrobe, and like, my wardrobe is 2 rows, like side by side, and there's a third row in the living room.
Right.
That's my stuff that I actually need to get rid of. And then I have the office, which has more stuff.
Right. Okay. I was going to say there must be an overflow.
Overflow.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But then also I really do try to like do more like, I loan stuff for like myself and stuff like that.
Oh,
when I,
okay.
like, go to things, or yeah, because I just couldn't.
Oh, I wanted to ask. What could I ask?
Yeah.
It's your podcast.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was like,
the only time limit I have is like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, quick.
I just wanted to touch on the sustainability situ.
Yeah, that's another reason for that. Like,
Yes, and
Yeah.
like
it's too much, bro.
it's a lot, isn't it? And do you,
No, it's too much. I'm
Yeah.
overwhelmed. I don't even want to go back to my house right now. Like sometimes I'm like, oh,
A
my
lot of
God. Like,
clothes.
because also when you're doing content and stuff, like you have
You
to
get
get in
Yeah.
loads and loads of
Yeah.
clothes as well, and you're like, at the end you're like, oh, it doesn't even. Some of it don't even go back. It's just for you.
Yeah.
And it's like I've done it now, and I don't know what to do.
You got a
with the
Depop to
stuff.
plug or a
Yeah.
Vinted to plug?
I do have a Vinted, and I'm actually doing content with Vinted, so my closet will be out by next week.
stunning.
Actually, that you
Sick.
can
Okay.
purchase.
Perfect timing.
But also another thing, like it's long, you know.
I've had things I was meant to
That
have
is a
invented for like
job.
2 years ago, and
Yeah.
I'm like, they're still there in the
Yeah,
corner, and
that
I'm
is
like,
a
I'm
job.
I
gonna
was
sell
like
them.
ham in January because it was quite a month, and I was like, I made so much money. I was like,
That's so good.
sell it all. But also you're beefing with them.
Oh, do you know
Oh,
there's
they're
an
cheeky on
Instagram
Things
that.
go
page called
missing,
like Depop
and
Dramas
you're like, oh,
and
so
stuff?
that's £60 just gone, then I got to refund you because the process of obviously selling. It's a bit of a full-time job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot.
it is. You
Take
have
the
to sit
picture.
there,
Yeah, you
post
gotta
it,
do
this, do the
like, I do
hashtags,
like, but
yada, yada,
I'm gonna
yada.
bang it out. Like me and my boyfriend said, we're gonna bang out bare stuff, but I gotta wait for work to kind of die down. a little
Yeah,
bit,
to find
so I
the
can
time.
be
Yeah.
there when they're messaging me and saying,
Dedicate.
send it out to do. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm at work. I'm like,
Thank you.
You're
been
welcome.
This has been so
amazing.
stun
Thanks.
hard.
Thank
much
you
fun.
for waiting for me.
Only 2 years.
Only 2 years. We got there in the end. We got
Better
there in
late
the
than
end.
never.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything you want to plug before going?
Follow me on TikTok. Trying to grow that.
Is it same as your
Yeah, it's the same as Alize Demange. Everywhere is Alize Demange. Same
love consistency?
Alize.
Anything
Demange.
else we should be looking at that's coming up? So you got your
I have
Top
a
Shop
show.
thing coming up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
you can't talk about it?
No, I can because it's
Oh.
mine. So basically, I've got a show coming out. It was going to be a podcast, but it's a show now. So it's like
Fun.
it's going to be a YouTube series.
Oh,
It's called
fun.
Add to Wish List. It should be out in the summer sometime.
That's
Don't
exciting.
quote me, but it's coming.
Yeah.
We are shooting in 2 weeks, so it's definitely coming. And
Amazing.
it's going to be like a little bit like, I guess something that we don't really have. So talking about what's hot, what's not.
Is
what
that
you wanna
Trini and
add.
Susanna?
No.
No. Okay.
Is
We
that
couldn't. We
trends?
could not do that now.
No.
It's not.
We could
politically
not
correct.
do
it's
that
not
now.
PC
You
at all.
mad?
Yeah, it's not
It's
PC.
not PC at all.
Like, what we're gonna go into change rooms and be like, put that boob over there. Like, no, absolutely not. Like,
But it's like, what's
it's gonna
hot,
bring
what's
it
not?
up. Basically, like, I'm gonna be bringing on industry professionals talking about like.
Nice.
So our first episode, actually, I can talk about it. Has Alicia, who runs AG on it. I don't know whether you know.
Yes, Adrian. Yeah, yeah.
And Mia Joseph, who ran Maya Maid. Who
Yeah.
was like a big Instagram sensation.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna talk
We
through.
spoke about.
Yeah.
We spoke about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like talking about what it takes to become from bedroom to brand, going down the conventional route, going down the unconventional route, like financially what's possible, not possible, what's the best idea, like also
Good.
like having creative blocks,
Yeah.
shifts, which I think naturally happens with all of us in all of our, you just do something for a while and you're like, I don't think I
Know what I'm doing?
yeah, I'm like,
anymore.
I don't know who I am anymore.
Yeah.
And then also talking to the public, we're gonna have Maya McLean talking to the public.
Oh,
Yeah, getting some public opinion on what's hot, what's not,
That's
Oh, that's
exciting.
so cool.
I'm really
and like a
looking
few
forward
little
to that.
games and stuff, and like, you know,
So can people like pre-subscribe to
A
a
channel.
channel?
should probably do that.
Well, yeah. We will. We'll
Yeah,
put
right.
it. We'll
Yeah,
put it in
follow-
the description.
yeah,
Once you've
yeah,
got it, we'll
yeah.
add it to the description of this. She's like, I forgot that bit.
Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? It's
need
evolving
to
as
get
I
on
go.
your
To be
Zoom.
honest, I'm like, no one's really gonna know. I thought no one really knows what goes behind the scenes. But
Yeah.
like, now I've announced it. It's like shit.
Well, when you go
got
home,
to
just
announce
make the account and leave it. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
at least
yeah.
the name.
it. No,
Send us
there
a
is
link.
definitely YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Instagram.
It'll be in the
There's
description
It'll be in the
box.
description.
But watch this space because I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
Fun.
Thank you
Sweet
again.
girl.
Thanks. And we will see Kitty Bubs next week.
Next
Per
week.
usual.
Bye.